Hello, my name is Jim Bennett, and I'm the director at the National Center for Religious Freedom Education here at RFI. Glad to have a special guest with us here today. So, Colten, just take a couple minutes and introduce yourself, if you would, please.
Yeah, my name is Colten Stanberry. I'm a constitutional law fellow at the Becket Fund for Religious Liberty. I'm also affiliated with Pepperdine University. I'm an alumni of the law school there, and I have close ties. And my firm, the Becket Fund, helped Pepperdine get a religious liberty clinic off the ground at the law school there. So we had a student get to come to the summit as well with that.
Okay, yeah, great. And he's referring to, of course, the International Religious Freedom Summit where we are here. And tell us a little bit about Pepperdine's interest in being here and what you observed at our training sessions with the students. At RFI, of course, we have an emphasis on preparing the next generation of leaders to embrace this fundamental human right. What did you observe when you were here?
Yeah, to answer your first question, I would say that Pepperdine has a very similar interest. We want the next generation of leaders to also recognize the importance of religious liberty. You know, Pepperdine is a Church of Christ school at heart, as well as we have students of multiple faiths that are devout. It's one of the things that they're drawn to. And so we're very interested in not only protecting that for future generations, as well as training up people in that. And I think that the Young Leaders Academy was really important to get to train the students up in that. I loved that, just observing the logic flow click. So, you know, defining what does religion mean? What does religious liberty mean? And how does that impact human flourishing? I think that those are valuable lessons for the students to get to lay out in a systematic way as they begin to think about these concepts, and then coming to the RFI Summit at large and hearing about some of the implications of that internationally.
That's great. Well, you know, it sure makes sense to us, right, that there's a logical flow, and it's certainly a supportable cause with these different axioms and things that we present. But why is it then that out on our university and college campuses that this is such a contentious topic, or even an awkward topic for many people?
Yeah, I think, you know, not to toot the summit's horn, but education is so important. And I think people don't understand how this really is the linchpin through which so many other liberties that they enjoy flow from. It's kind of the central thesis. And I think the result of that and the lack of understanding in that area causes a lot of disagreement and dissension that's unnecessary. That really this isn't something that is opposed to other freedoms. It's something that is foundational for other freedoms. And so I think people don't understand that. And when you don't understand something, you fear something. And so a lot of it is just fear-inspired reactions.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly giving your life and career, at least for now, to this cause. You shared with me you actually had a couple of different directions you really could have gone and you considered, and you ended up in the legal field at Becket, as you said now. How did that work, and was that the right move?
Yeah, well, answering this latter point first, it absolutely was the right move. You know, I think that ultimately I wanted to do something that had meaning outside of my own life. Even after choosing to become an attorney rather than going into the ministry, perhaps, I still had the conviction of, man, I want my life to matter for other people, not just myself. And so getting to work at the Becket Fund, getting to work on religious liberty issues throughout our country, and kind of be on that vanguard action of protecting any places that it's under attack. It's just an opportunity to get to really impact other people's lives and, again, contribute to human flourishing in a larger way.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. And maybe just a couple more questions here.
Yeah.
You know, we talked a little bit as well the other night about legislation and the importance of good laws to protect this basic human right. We certainly talked about the importance of litigation, and that's your field of expertise now that you're giving yourself to. We also talked about education, which you just mentioned, and its importance. So looking through sort of the lens of your own experience at a Pepperdine, at Becket, and just even in a broader sense, what are some practical things that you would encourage current university students or grad students or law students to be considering and to expose themselves to in order to really get their mental arms wrapped around this issue?
Yeah, I think one point is to know what is going on in the world at large. I think in America we get a very limited taste of not only what does life look like, but what does religion look like. and what does religious liberty look like? And so, I would recommend to any university student, hey, get into some programs that'll take you outside of your specific context. I also think it's just important to have some fundamental philosophy understanding, because again, as you study ancient thinkers, you yourself realize that, again, religious liberty is at the center of so much of our thought and our beliefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nothing new under the sun, right?
Nothing's new under the sun.
So,
Yeah.
well, Colten, certainly wish you the best.
Yeah.
You are in a great field and
Yeah.
a great firm, and it's been a pleasure not only to get to know you more these last few days, but we sort of anticipate, our future interaction.
Yeah.
And as I said, wish you the best, because you're involved in some very important cases, we know, and will continue to do so.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jim. I'd also just add, even as a practitioner, someone who obviously believes in it myself, it's really good to get to come back and hear first principles and be reminded of the meta-narrative of how important this is. So I appreciate being allowed to come and getting to jump in with y'all.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks so much.